tutorial, I will explain you how to make a robot that can be controlled by using a GSM mobile. First, I will give you an overview of what are the things that you need in order to make this project. The first thing would be a mobile which you will be having to control our robot. Next is a mobile that is attached to the robot itself. And this PCB contains the ICs that are required to process the input according to our desire. This PCB is then placed over a chassis of a movable robot in order to operate it. I would recommend you to check the IC circuits in a breadboard before doing so, and if it works good, you can replace those ICs and place it over the PCB and solder it to make the circuit rigid. Okay, now I will explain you how this project works. Normally there are set of keys on your mobile, and each key is assigned to set of frequencies. These frequencies have a fixed value. For example, when you press the key 1, the frequency corresponding to this key will be sent to the other mobile, and this happens only when the call is established between both the mobiles. So the key 1 which has been pressed in this mobile will be received by this mobile, and in turn it will go through the earphone, and later on I will tell you what's the connection over here, and it will be fed into the PCB. Now the output till here would be two pair of frequencies which our microcontroller cannot understand, and that's the reason why we feed this frequency into IC named MT8870, which is actually a DTMF decoder, and the output of this decoder will be sent to the microcontroller through an inverter, which is nothing but a NOT gate. The output of this microcontroller will go on to motor driver, and from where it goes to the motor. I will show that later on. Okay. Now I will explain the working of this project. As I told you earlier, the frequencies which you send would be here as a set of frequency and no other thing. And this frequency is fed into this decoder. The purpose of this decoder is to convert that frequency into a set of binary output, and this binary output always generates the same value for same key that you have pressed. For example, if you have pressed 1, the binary value corresponding to that will only be generated every time you press 1. And so it would be easy for us to program this microcontroller in such a way, if you press the key 1, it must perform this operation. For example, if you press key 2, this entire robot must move forward, which means both the motor must move in the forward direction. In the similar way, if you press the key 8, it would move in the backward direction. And if you want our robot to move right, which means you are pressing key 6, the right motor must move in the backward direction. At the same time, the left one must move in the forward direction, which allows the robot to turn itself. Okay, in such a way our microcontroller is programmed. This microcontroller generates an output which has a very less power, which won't be enough to drive our motor, and that's the purpose why we are having a motor driver over here. The motor driver used is, it's actually not visible, but I will say it out. It's L293D, which is a normal motor driver used for driving the motor, and the IC, which is the microcontroller that I have used, is 8951, and NOT gate. As usual, you can use whatever you want, and then a DTMF decoder. That's the thing.